Before we jump into this Chiefs live Q&A, you guys probably know by now I launched my Instagram page about a month ago, and my goal is to reach 1,000 followers by the end of 2021. Less than 150 away, so help a brother out. The handle's below, at HGramNFL. It's at HGramNFL. Give me a follow on IG. I would greatly appreciate it, trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. If you want to slide in my DMs and say, hey, yo, just followed you, I'll hit you back on Instagram. You're watching the Chiefs Report. It is mailbag time, so submit those questions. We will answer as many as we can. I, of course, am your host, Harrison Graham. Let's get into it on today's show. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. We'll start things off with Cole Keleher. Once Hitch's contract is up after this year, yeah, he's a free agent. What do you see happening at linebacker? I love Nick Bolton. I like how he's played this year. Willie Gay Jr. has become a really good player. I think that's your 1-2 punch. If Hitch wants to come back for cheap on a one-year deal, I'm down, but I do not want to stunt the development of those two guys. They need to be your top two linebackers. So if Hitch can accept a slightly lesser role, I'm good with that. But I don't want him playing if that means Nick Bolton has to ride the bench, because every time Nick Bolton plays, he delivers. So he's got to be playing more. Optimistic Chiefs fan asks, what's wrong with the Chiefs? Are the receivers just not getting open, or is Mahomes just missing open receivers? Well, interesting question after the Chiefs threw for 410 yards against the Chargers, but I do get that most of that was Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I mean, we've said this all year, right? They don't really have a number two receiver. Byron Pringle has flashed. He's done some good things. Every once in a while, McCole Hardman will make a play. Obviously, Mahomes missed him on that goal line play where he went in motion, was open in the flat, and he just threw what he called a pretty shitty pass. His words, not mine. So, yeah, I mean, I think Mahomes at times has missed some dudes. There's no doubt about that. And I think that this team lacks a true number two wide receiver. So I would expect that to be addressed in the offseason. But it's a combination of everything. Overall, I think the offense has been playing much better, though, as of late, and that's certainly a good thing. Cool stuff, guy. Should Nick Bolton play more even when Willie Gay comes back? So, yeah, Willie Gay missed last week on the COVID list. I expect him to return this week. But Nick Bolton, you can't take him off the field, man. He's got to play for this team. You got to keep him out there. Now, I don't know if that means you run more three linebacker sets, or if Willie Gay rotates out more, or Anthony Hitchens. I would like to see Gay and Bolton play more together, especially in those nickel packages with those two linebacker formations. I know they value Hitchens' play and his leadership, and he's played pretty well. I'm not downplaying Anthony Hitchens. I'm just saying this is the future at linebacker for this team. Nick Bolton and Willie Gay Jr., they've both played well this year. I don't think you can take Bolton off the field. I think he's got to be a full-time starter for this team, which is why I'll ask you this question. Should Nick Bolton be a full-time starter? Type Y for yes, type in for no. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So during this YouTube ad break, scroll on down, give it a thought, and then answer with a Y or an N. Next up is Christoph for the Chiefs, capable of blowing out a team in the next three games. So you got Pittsburgh at home, at Cincinnati, at Denver. I think all of them are capable blowouts. We'll just go one by one. Pittsburgh's offense, I don't think, can keep up with Kansas City. So let's say Big Ben throws a couple of picks. I mean, we saw Cincinnati beat them 41-10. The Chiefs are certainly capable of doing that. Then you get to the Bengals. Joe Burrow at times this year has been turnover prone. That's a game that could get out of hand. I do think that's probably the toughest game left, though. I think if the Chiefs are going to lose, it'll be at Cincinnati. And then Week 18, you know, they already beat Denver 22-9 once. That wasn't a blowout, but it wasn't really competitive either. So all three are blowout capable, but all three are also quality opponents. It's not like any of these three teams just suck. So I think it depends on what you mean by a blowout. Like, is a 12-point win a blowout? If it is, then yes. If you're like, no, it's 3 touchdowns plus, probably won't see many of those the rest of the way. Excuse me. Jackson says, do you think we could get Chris Godwin? So if you're watching this live on Monday, Chris Godwin confirmed torn ACL, and he was playing on the franchise tag. So now, not only was he having a big year and a contract year, now he has to recover from an ACL. So that's difficult. I would like to get Chris Godwin. I think he's going to go for a big contract, but does that price lower with the ACL injury? It's possible. It all depends on money like it always does. I would guess it probably wouldn't happen, but man, could you imagine adding Chris Godwin to this offense? That would be sensational. Kemper is flying. Can the Chiefs hold on to the number 1 seed in the AFC? I mean, yeah. I mean, we got the playoff picture graphic that we can show you guys real quick. Obviously, depending on when you're watching this could be altered depending on what happens in that Cleveland Raiders game. We're filming this live on Monday, but yeah, I think it's absolutely a possibility. All you got to do is win out and you're in. Even if you lose a game, there's still a decent chance that the Chiefs will get the number 1 seed. Caleb, are the Chiefs the team to beat in the NFL? I mean, we were talking about this in the Chat Sports office. After the way Tom Brady and the Bucs looked against the Saints, I know the Packers have been winning a bunch. They're 11-3. They also gave up 30 points to Tyler Huntley, and the Ravens' backup quarterback. I think that if the Chiefs play their best, they're the team to beat right now. Now, Green Bay, Tampa, Dallas, there's a couple of AFC teams that could certainly be in that mix, but it's kind of crazy how things quickly change when it comes to how we view these teams throughout a season, because through 7 weeks we're like, the Chiefs going to make the playoffs? I didn't doubt that they would, but they were in a major funk. There's no doubt about that. Who is the biggest threat in the AFC? Shout out producer Jack for pulling this one up right on cue. Out of these 4 teams, and I do think these are the 4 that could potentially give the Chiefs the biggest problems. Sure, the Chargers play the Chiefs tough, but I just don't know how much of a factor they'll be in the playoffs. Type NE for the Patriots, type TEN for the Titans, type BUF for the Buffalo Bills, then type BAL for the Ravens. Hey, Ravens-Bills, one of those teams may actually miss the playoffs. All right, Chiefs fans, we got a hat, T-shirt combo. I love this tee, by the way. Chiefs Kingdom on it. It's only $20. This is a steal, guys. Get it right now. Chatsports.com/Chiefs deal. Now, it's not going to ship out by Christmas. You waited too long for that, but little trick I'll teach you. Just pull the whole. Well, the mail's been slow this year, bro. What do you want me to say? You'll get it a few days after Christmas. No big deal. Order it today. Chatsports.com/Chiefs deal. That link will be in the comments. It'll be in the description. Pick up this hat and T-shirt combo for $20. It's an unbelievable deal with our partners, Fanatics. Keep it moving here. Phillip Johnson, the little cheetah. Is this Tyreek Hill Jr.? Put Tyreek Hill on punt return right on cue. They're not going to do that. As exciting as it would be, and as much as I would like to see it, it's not worth the injury. It's just not. They value him too much as a receiver. McCole Hardman, Mike Hughes can hold it down. I'd like to see it be Hardman more, especially since he's not being used a ton in the offense, but it's not going to be Tyreek Hill. Jay the God, will L'Jarius Sneed be the number 1 corner for a while, or will he settle into a number 2? I don't know. I mean, Rashad Fenton's been playing well. So has Charvarius Ward, actually. All 3 of those guys have played well. Are any of them, like, true number 1s? I think we know Ward is not. I think Sneed's got that potential. Rashad Fenton has flashed that at times this year as well. What I like about Fenton and Sneed is they can both play slot or outside. So they're very versatile players. You would like to have a lockdown number 1 corner, but if you have 3 number 2 corners, is that a bad thing? I don't necessarily think so. Rasta Coffman, do you think 87 is the best tight end ever? Man, I got a little itch under my nose. I think he's the best receiving tight end ever. I mean, 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons for Travis Kelce now. I mean, he did stuff in that Chargers game where you're like, no tight end in the history of the sport could do that. I mean, the last catch, it's a crossing route. He catches it, pivots the other way, makes a dude miss, zigzags his way into the end zone, doesn't even get touched. Who else is doing that? No one. I mean, he's just ridiculous with what he can do as a route runner. He's underrated as a blocker. I'm not going to sit here and say he blocks like Gronk or even a George Kittle, but look, man, for this team, you can't have a better tight end in the history of the sport. So, yeah, I mean, he's in that conversation. There's no doubt about it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, videos almost every single day, and this is where you can be a part of our live mailbags. Every Monday, you guys load up your questions, so make sure to subscribe and keep sending in #Chiefs or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. Optimistic James, will we see Mahomes under center because they look good with that versatile option? Yeah, I mean, I think the Chiefs have been doing that a little bit more. I was saying that a few weeks ago, like, stop going shotgun on every play. I do think they need to go under center more on the goal line. Like, the snapping at 6 yards when you're a foot away from the end zone pisses me off. So I think you can work in some more of that power eye or even the belldozer QB sneak if you want to. But yeah, I think some of that hard play action from under center can really open this offense up even more. Kenneth Cadwell, and then we'll get to that super chat in a moment. Mahomes only needs an average of 316 yards per game to hit 5,000 again. Do you see him doing it? I say yes, unless he rests in Denver. 316 a game. That sounds easy. It's really not. Especially think about the defenses the Chiefs are playing. Steelers, top 10 defense. Believe it or not, Bengals, top 10, top 15 defense this year. Broncos, top 10 defense. So, you know, that would be impressive if he threw for almost 1,000 yards over the final 3 weeks. But with Patrick Mahomes, we all know that's very much a possibility. Super chat from DaRealChiefsFan. How do you feel about KC drafting Sauce Gardner in the first round if available, or maybe even an Andrew Booth? I got to look into the draft stuff a little bit more. I will certainly do that as we get closer to the offseason. But Sauce Gardner, elite name. There's no doubt about that. I do like his game. We'll see what happens there. But needs I'm looking at as a whole, I think wide receiver is going to be one. I think pass rusher is potentially going to be one. Those are probably two areas. Safety, maybe. Those are 2 or 3 areas I would look at. Rashard Lee, would you like a Chiefs versus Packers Super Bowl? I think it'd be great, man. I think you would be witnessing the 2 most impressive throwers of the football maybe in the history of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers with what he can do with his arm talent. Patrick Mahomes, obviously we got robbed of a Rodgers-Mahomes game earlier this year because Rodgers was in the COVID protocols. But, yeah, I mean, I think that would be entertaining. I think right now those are probably the 2 best teams in the league. But I also think this is one of those years, 8 to 10 teams may have a chance to make a run because I don't think there's a single dominant team. So we'll see what shakes out over the next month or so. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. If I missed your question, just slide in the DMs over there. It's at HGramNFL, at HGramNFL, trying to get to 1,000 followers by the end of 2021. We're almost to 900. Want to get to 1K by the end of the year. So give me a follow, slide in the DMs. I'll answer any questions that you may have.